What's up, Internet? Current 1776 here with Mission 72 of Battlbox. We got a video coming to you. It's going to be freaking awesome. Awesome logo, awesome products. We got an awesome special guest. It's got to do with the awesome Pro Plus knife in here. He's got awesome haircut and he's got an awesome mask, kind of like Bane. Yeah, he didn't talk like Bane. He doesn't really look like Bane, but he's got a mask. So let's get into the box. All right, Mission 72. I got the mission brief right here. I'll let y'all see the front. I ain't gonna let you see the inside because you get to watch the video. February, we made it to February, folks. Don't fret. We got stuff in here to help get you through February and on into March. In the basic box, we've got from Revolt Knives, the Raptor Survival Neck Knife. This thing right here is pretty freaking sweet. Of course it is. We got the Raptor box right here. So it's a neck knife. Y'all know how I feel about neck knives. We talked about that last month, right? This one right here is extra special because you ain't seen a neck knife like this, I don't believe. Get that little packet, throw it in your gun safe. Don't eat it. Some literature. You can choose to read it or not. First thing I'm gonna talk about is the cordage here. Sometimes when you get a neck knife, it comes with the chain, and most of us switch it out. As you know, I switch mine out to fire cord, paracord. That is kind of what's in this one as well. It's got the little red strand on the inside, so it'll help you start a fire. And then it's got this little ferrocerium toggle right here that you can use to strike, to make a spark, to light your little red fiber. Will you look at it? Check that out. First up in basic, a freaking neck knife. So this is a design from Russ Comer. Very cool design. Small, lightweight, which is great for a neck knife. I mean, that's what they're for, right? You're not gonna be, yanking a machete off your neck or anything. But this right here is a small, usable knife, fits really good in the hand. It's got a nice curve to it, and I don't know if y'all can tell in the camera or whatever, but it's got texture to the handle here that's really nice. So it's very grippy. It does have an area here where you can put a lanyard on if you choose to do that. You're not gonna be batoning freaking wood with this, but I promise you, my neck knife's probably the most used tool I have that I carry on my body every day. It's got a 90-degree spine to it, so you can strike your ferrocerium toggle right there. The sheath, Kydex, snaps in really well, but it's also got this little retainer right here so that you can be sure that bad boy doesn't slip out on you. You put it in the right spot. There we go. So it's nice because you can just reach up, flip that off with your thumb, and deploy the knife. Almost daily I get messages about how I adjust my neck knife and stuff, and this here is how I do mine as well. So you got these knots right here that allow you to slide back and forth to make the neck strap smaller. If you got a great big old neck or you like it to hang further down your chest, you just spread them out like so, and now it's larger. So you can get it over your head, reach back, cinch it up where you like it. I like it just under me beard. So that's the first item in the basic box. Second up in the basic box, we've got the Adventure Medical Kit's Tri-Oral Rehydration Salts. In a survival situation, or really any situation, diarrhea really sucks, right? It ain't good. It really sucks when you're at home in the comfort of your home, but imagine out in the wilderness and having diarrhea is not good. The byproduct of that, even if you get through it okay, is you're very dehydrated, right? That's bad. Being dehydrated is bad. So this stuff right here, you get 3 packets of it in there from Tri-Oral. It's rehydration salts, and that kind of sounds oxymoronish. Is that a word? Remember, I make up words sometimes. Wouldn't salt help, dehydrate something or take the liquids out? This stuff is way better than Gatorades and things like that. Adds electrolytes and helps you retain water and rejuvenate, some hydration in your body. Of course, you need water to add this to. You don't just pour the freaking salt in your mouth. A very good alternative and a great thing to keep in some medical kits, keeping some bug out bags and things like that. In the event that you do get sick from drinking bad water, you start expelling all that water, you can rehydrate with this stuff right here. Dehydration, travel, hiking, extreme activities, outdoor labor, whatever. If you're having labor in the outdoors, I guess you could use it. That was disgusting. Anyway, That's the second item in the basic box. A great thing to add to your preps, especially because there's 3 packets of it, so you can split it amongst your family members if need be, or put in multiple kits. Y'all know what I think about knots. Everybody's got to be able to tie a good knot. And sometimes we tie knots, they work, but we just invented them ourselves because that knot has no name and it's never going to come apart again. You're never going to be able to use your cordage again. It's a spaghetti mess. Looks like a pterodactyl took a dump on your rope, right? It's horrible. What we got right here is a card with all sorts of different knots, how to tie those knots, and kind of gives you an idea of what the knots could be used for. They're all together by this little grommet, as you see here, and it comes with a little carabiner that you can put through there. You can, hook it to a zipper pull, hook it to a pack or whatever, but you've got knots on one side, different kind of knots, and then on the other as well. So we got taut line hitches, which are really, really nice. Clove hitch, which is good. All of these are really cool knots, and everybody should have some knowledge of knots. I mean, you'd be surprised how many knots are out there. That is a really cool addition. You can stick it in your wallet if you want to, but great for a pack, and you need to do these, and it's kind of satisfying once you learn one, you get it figured out, and you know what you can use it for, and then you can just tie it anytime you want, and your buddies are like, hey man, what kind of knot is that? And then you can teach somebody. Get you some rope, sit down when you're bored at home, tie knots. Or you can invent your own knots and just keep doing that the rest of your life and be weird.
You better not.
You better not. Old Daniel with jokes and the old dad jokes today. So that's your basic box. Now we're going to go into the advanced box. And in the advanced box, as you'll see in the booklet here, if you are going to be looking at it while you're doing your unboxing at home, you're going to see a bunch of medical kits. So what we got is the Adventure Medical Kit. It's a first aid kit. And there we have it, right there. Adventure Medical. Got to cut that loose. Sometimes you need a knife to do things, folks. I mean, that's why it's a great tool. Really nice bag. It's got a plastic on the bottom so that it keeps it protected. Really good zipper and a very rough texture to it. I mean, this thing can take some abuse. On the back here, it's got a legend that tells you everything that's inside of this kit. But this isn't your typical. Get off of there. We'll put you right there. This isn't your typical kit where you open it up and stuff just falls out everywhere. This thing is really cool. It's got areas sectioned off that's labeled so that you can quickly get to what you need to get to. You ain't fumbling through a bunch of stuff to try to find one thing that you need. So we got wound care, burn and blister up here, medications here, stop bleeding on this side, instruments here, cuts and scrapes here. So depending on what you need, you can go directly to that area and get what you need. There's plenty of space still in here, so you can add your own stuff to it as well. But we've got gauze, we've got tape, we've got a little single-use, little syringe type deal here. Doesn't have a needle, but you know what I'm getting at. We've got long swabs, sterile bandages in here. And here we've got medications like your aspirins and your ibuprofens and all that good stuff. Instruments. The good old freaking tweezers. Everybody needs a good set of tweezers. So you get what I'm saying. Fast bleed, we got stuff here, gloves. We got a booklet in here to help you, get a little bit of knowledge. Great little kit right here. Awesome kit, actually. What we got here? Got scissors. There's trauma shears, if you will. Oh yeah, it's got that nice trauma shear noise to it. So really cool kit. Cut and scrapes, obviously there's going to be Band-Aids and small adhesive bandages and stuff in there. But there's more. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but sometimes things don't go to plan, right? Sometimes a product doesn't come in on time, things like that, and we're somewhat ran into that issue with Adventure Medical. We came up with a solution. So some people are going to get this kit right here, right? And the reason why we came up with this solution, there's a lot of stuff going on, folks, that are 100% out of our hands, okay? I mean, we can't do nothing about it. All we can do is try to mitigate it and make it work best for the customer, okay? Because that's what we're here for. We're here for the customer. We want you to have the best experience. But there's strikes going on at ports right now. There's strikes going on with shipping companies right now. There's delays in shipping. There's a daggone farmer strike going on in what country is it? Indonesia?
New Delhi?
New Delhi or something like that, where the truckers are not, they're blocking roads. Farmers can't even get their crops out right now. So there's tons of stuff going on, in not only farmers, but whoever's traveling the roads, the trucks blocking the roads. So there's tons of things going on in the world when it comes to shipping and receiving right now. And we ran into an issue with this. All these medical kits right here, this exact one for all of our customers that are advanced and above, they've been sitting at a shipping location for frickin' ever. They're here, but we don't have them in place. So what we've done is we talked with Adventure Medical. We came up with a solution. So some people are going to get this one. Some people are going to be getting the Explorer. This one here is the what's this one again? I just want to be sure I tell you right. The Backpacker. Some people are going to get the Backpacker. Others are going to get the Explorer, okay? A little bit larger. Equally as freaking awesome, all right? You got the Explorer. Some people are going to be getting the ultralight kit right here. It's got a waterproof bag here with the watertight zipper and all that. Great kit, equal to this as far as stuff that's in it, and a few things different, but it's got waterproof bag and all. Everything's nice and safe for the weather. So some people are going to get that, and then some people are going to get these two as a package in the advanced box. And this is our way of making sure that our customers are getting what they're supposed to in time. And this is the only way we've been able to do it, because all of these kits, other than what we've already received, are sitting in waiting to be shipped to us, and they're not coming to us because of a freaking strike. Okay, so that's something that we can't control. But we got with them, we got a solution. So everybody's getting their stuff. They're shipping out now. Some are getting this, some are getting this, some are getting this, some are getting the one that I opened right here in front of you. What you're getting is going to be totally random, okay? So advanced and up, totally random, what you're going to get. But you're getting a product from Adventure Medical, and they're freaking awesome. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of hope I get this one, because I've got two kits, and I can, keep this one in my truck, keep this one in my EDC backpack or whatever, because it's not. I think that's pretty cool. I think getting the two would be freaking awesome for me anyway. Some might want, one of the other ones. But like I said, totally random. But you are getting it, and it's going to be shipped on time. And we took the bull by the horns, and luckily Adventure Medical had this stuff available so that we could do the mix match package for you guys. So that is your advanced box. So now it's time for the Pro Box. So I got a question for you. Have you ever just wanted to take a seat, take a load off, relax, be comfortable, no matter where you're at? I mean, I know I do sometimes. Steve definitely does, right? What I'm getting at is sometimes a comfortable chair is not something that's very portable. It's not something very lightweight. It's not something that you really want to take with you anywhere at any time, be able to just grab it, and you got your comfy chair that you like, your outdoor chair that you like to sit in. I know I got one at home that I really enjoy, but I don't take it with me everywhere, because it's, the package, the bag it's in is about that daggone long. Kind of a drag, but it's a great seat. Well, what if you had one that was nice, small, compact? You could take it with you anywhere. You can keep it in your truck. You can use it at the ball field. You can use it at the beach. You can use it at camp. You can put it in your backpack, and you can have that thing with you at any time, and it's a comfortable seat. Well, that's what we got right here. I have trouble saying this word. It's the Caliloa. The Caliloa.
There you go.
Right?
Caliloa.
Was that it?
Caliloa.
Okay, I got it that time. I tell you, I have trouble saying that, My words don't work well sometimes. The Caliloa. Yeah. Caliloa. Like aloha, but Cali. Anyway, it's the ultralight camp chair. It's freaking sweet. We don't need that. So here we've got a nice bag right here, ripstop, got a handle. It's got the logo right here in these straps, so you can strap it different ways. You got attach points that you can put on here. Drawstring, you can use that for cordage if you need to. It's something that you can have with you. I mean, that's the point, convenience, right? And sometimes convenience doesn't end very well. Sometimes convenience means you're not going to be comfortable. Sometimes convenience means it's not very durable. You got some little feet right here. I'll talk about that later. You don't need these. These are a great addition. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this is 7075 aluminum, like aircraft grade, you know, aluminum or whatever. So it's very durable and very strong. And it's kind of interesting. You can kind of just move this thing around and it kind of puts itself together to an extent. But you put all these pieces on, and there are little holes right there. It's got shock cord in there. So the little green pieces there go on the bottom. That's your framing right there. Very strong. I mean, I'm 240 some pounds and this thing holds me up plenty fine, and it's very comfortable. And I'm gonna show you what else we got going on here to complete this chair, because right now all we got is a frame. This thing's taking up a lot of space. Put it right here for now. This right here is your seat where you put your hind end right there. So it's double ripstop material, very lightweight material. It's double stitched everywhere. It has, I mean, it's freaking built like a tank. You've got areas here that I'll show you where the top rods go in, but you've got pockets on each side on the back, so you can store your bag in there if you want, or your cell phone, or whatever it is, your sunscreen in there. It's got mesh on the side, so it's gonna be breathable. So on a hot day, you know, you can sit down and not worry about when you stand up, it look like you sit in a bunch of water because your butt end is sweating like a freaking beast. It'll hold up to a good fart, I'm sure. So anyway, overbuilt, like I guess is the best way to put it. This chair is overbuilt. There's a lot of stress right here, so a lot of heavy stitching, a lot of double thickness here with the materials. Very, very strong. You got your logo up here at the top, that's your back. That faces outward. Put it in that cup right there, that little loop. All right, do the same on the other side. And in some cases, you gotta kind of torque it. You gotta bend it in there, it's okay, it's gonna handle it. And on the bottom here, you got the same thing. You've got the little pockets here. All right. So there we go. There's your chair, y'all. It does sit low to the ground, but it's not that bad because of the angle that they've got it at. This is extremely comfortable. This is just as comfortable as some of them really expensive large chairs that you would buy at your big box stores that you would carry to, you know, your kid's ball game or carry to the beach and stuff like that. I mean, let's face it, we've all been or seen the guy that's toting all the crap to the freaking beach for his family, and he's toting 17 freaking long freaking chairs and it's about to kill him. I mean, we've all seen it. A lot of us has been that guy, right? This right here is small, man, and it is just as comfortable. So these kind of have you know, a texture to them, so that, you know, they kind of help with traction, if you will. But at the beach and at soft ground, soft sandy areas, muddy areas, these right here would normally sink down into them, right? So now you got these larger feet that simply pop on these, and it will conform to the ground. You got more surface area here. It's less apt to sink down into soft soil. Lightweight, strong, it'll hold Steve. And he can fart in it and not blow the bottom out of it. Cali Loha. You're probably gonna want your bag that the chair was in up off the ground. So you can take these loops right here, put them through the strap. Over here. Now your bag is suspended and you can keep things in there, and you have, you know, it up off the ground, so you can put your snacks in there, close it up, and it's good to go. That's nice, man. That's a nice chair. It's so comfy. Kind of like a lazy boy, except way cheaper than a lazy boy. Ain't nothing cheap about a lazy boy. I mean, it's supportive. You know what I'm saying? Supportive. It's nice. You can sit like this. You can sit like this. You got something to put your feet up on. Put my cell phone in here. We've all sat on the stump, you know, knelt down on our knees for a little while and then stand up for a little while. You ain't got nothing comfy to sit on. This right here you can take with you. Yeah, it's comfortable. So now it's time for the Pro Plus box. And this one's pretty daggum special right here. This is a very unique blade, and we've got a very, very cool special guest going to come in and kind of tell us a little bit about the thought behind the blade and all that. And I'll just save that for him because this is an awesome story. So we've got from Palawan blade, it's the Bakuku. The Bakuku. It's kind of a fun word to say. He'll tell us what it means here in a little bit because I don't know. Got some literature right here. Tells you about features and all that. It's a 5CR 15 MOV steel. Got your sheath here. I'm assuming this says Bakuku. I don't know. We'll ask about that here in a minute too. So check this bad boy out. Take that plastic off. We don't need that. It's a Palawan blade, Bakuku. Let me get some of the oil off of it. Look at that rascal. So first thing I thought of when I saw this a while ago, like it's been a couple years ago, was it's upside down, right? You expect the bladed end to be like this, the side that's sharp, right? But it's like this. This is your sharp side. And when I mean sharp, I'm telling you it's sharp. So there's a reason behind that, which we'll have explained to us here in a little while. So again, 5CR 15 MOV steel. It's got a fiberglass reinforced overmold handle right here. It's also got a hole here for a lanyard if you want to do that, which is probably a good idea with most blades this size. Having a lanyard, you know, to keep it nice and tight to your body here so you don't lose it, it's a good idea. But 90-degree spine, very thick, very sharp. So freaking cool. It's balanced really well. It's got some weight up forward. Its design comes from the experience our guest here had in the Palawan Islands. His parents were missionaries, like in the bush, like in the jungle. Very, very rugged terrain, and he experienced a lot of really cool things. And one of those things was the people there used blades like this. They all did, like from childhood all the way up. This is a tool that everybody there used, and they used it for multiple reasons. He is now selling this style of blade, and he knows way more than I do about it. So I'm going to introduce Chris here. He is the owner of Palawan Blades. He's got an awesome mask on. Now this isn't the original, right? So this is your second design out.
Yeah, so
correct?
that's our second generation. This is the one that's meant for the masses, accessibility.
Right.
But the story actually starts with a blade that looks a lot more like this. And this was the prototype that ultimately, I guess it wasn't even a prototype. This is a jungle knife,
yeah,
forged in the jungle. And this was our example of a perfectly balanced and sized blade that numerous people there said was one of their favorites. Which is why I ended up starting Palawan Blade and building knives like this. Where'd the trail
right
blade
here.
go?
This one?
There it is. So our first product was this guy right here, which is also a very nice knife. It's also an incredibly expensive knife. We kind of went all out. We felt like this was like the ultimate jungle tool.
Right.
Of course, I'm biased because I grew up in the jungle, but worked for me, worked for them.
Yeah.
But we kind of took that and said, well, let's do the same thing, right?
Right.
But let's use the stuff we do good here. Right. So, fantastic 3V steel, same handle, but a material that's not going to crack. Sometimes these handles back in the jungle break. You'd have to go cut yourself a mango tree and make a new one.
So that's made from a mango tree.
I believe that is mango wood. They'll use some others as well, but yeah.
So this is the traditional. We'll say traditional handle style. Like did they put this, I guess, ornament to? I mean, is that common there?
It is. That is the typical shape, and pretty much everything about this blade, I could tell you some practical reason why it needs to be that way, except for that.
It's just what they like.
There might be a practical reason. I just don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
But it to me, as far as I know, it is their little signature. This is our blade. This is how we do it.
Right.
It's decorative. So we copied that. Also because what if there is a reason?
Yeah.
Right? So we tried to copy that. But then we got inspired to make a more accessible version. This is got everything that's good about the trail blade without the crazy expensive steels, but a steel that's still very good. This is more oriented for if you live in the jungle or you're bushwhacking for 12 hours a day for the next 3 months, you might want to consider that one.
Right.
But if you're like I am now, living luxury and going out in the woods every now and then.
Especially luxury considering what you were living in. For sure.
Right. Then this is actually a much better choice. And in some ways, it's actually targeting more towards the camping, backpacking experience.
Right.
It's got a little more heft to it than the Trail Blade did, which means it's a little easier to use, a little quicker to use. It's designed for people that maybe aren't as experienced. Just about cut myself there.
Yeah, I think so.
Running through the jungle.
Right.
And that's okay.
Two, like all of us can't make just, oh, we broke our blade, we're going to make a new one tomorrow.
This knife starts its life as a leaf spring that's been decommissioned. There's a whole trade of raw materials that happens, and it finds its way up into the jungle because they don't drive trucks in the jungle. And they have these little forges they build. Bellows is a old bicycle wheel they got from somewhere.
Cool.
And they build their own fan, and somebody sits there and cranks it, and they pound it out right there in the jungle. And they do things in the jungle that are actually really hard to do in manufacturing.
Right.
This blade is not evenly tempered all the way through. They can easily zone temper that leading edge, which is why this one broke, because I didn't take good care of it. But yeah, I'll put that incredibly hard edge on the leading edge there, and you can cut all day with it. You don't need to sharpen it. And of course, their handles are sourcing that right out of the jungle. One of the issues that they have is, how do you take a big old piece of steel like this and attach it to a piece of wood like that?
Right.
So if you had X-ray vision, you would actually see a spike coming down into here. And they just heat it up, red hot, and use that heat to burn into the handle.
Right.
And then they use some tree sap, or if they've got plastic, which they have now sometimes, stuff it down in there, heat it up, melt it in, psh, and that's how that sucker's attached.
Wow.
Which works for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Which is another thing we corrected with the design here.
Yeah.
So that anything you need to survive, this blade has a roll in it.
Right.
So if you're looking for food, they'll flip the sucker over like that. They dig up roots. That's part of why it's not sharp on this edge, because you mess up your edge. But if you're digging like this, you're not really doing too much down here. Building a house,
Right.
harvesting logs and rattan and thinking in the wrong language here, the thatch. Essentially, it's not thatch, but it's a grass that they use for the roofs. All happens with this. And then they dig a hole and put the post in the ground and tie a house around it, basically. Cooking, prepping food, it all happens with this.
Right.
And then, of course, just traveling through the jungle, you got to cut a trail. Happens with this. They're peace-loving people, so never heard of people fighting with this. One thing I've never heard of them doing.
Right.
But this knife has a history in the Moro sword, so it's kind of been everywhere.
And I think that's a disconnect I think a lot of us as consumers now have when it comes to our blades, and I kind of geek out on it, and I'm sure our viewers have seen me do that, and definitely Daniel on certain types of things. But a blade is an age-old tool, right? And a lot of them have got a lot of history in them, and a lot of them have a lot of reasons behind certain ways they're designed, certain ways they're made, and certain ways they're used. And it's cool to hear from somebody who's actually been there and experienced that lifestyle for several years. And I mean, you definitely got I'm sure a pile of stories to tell, right? I mean, just because you even think about it now, and like people are still living like that today as we're sitting here talking.
Oh yeah.
Right, and a lot of people.
They're living like that, but they have cell phones.
Right, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting.
now, not back then, but now they do.
Now they do. So
that's a little weird.
They're in the jungle with cell phones, but they still use this for.
But I mean, that's how
awesome.
you use the tools you have available.
Yeah,
That's
very
how
cool.
That's how you do it.
When so how long did you spend there?
I had about 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah. I
Very
was
cool.
15 when I went. So I like to say I grew up there because I feel like it was a very formidable time. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Very
gets
cool.
in your blood.
How far away are the people that you stayed with that used this tool from what you would consider modern civilization as far as,
Wow.
just to give an idea
Well,
of like,
if you want to say motorized vehicles and electricity constitute modern civilization,
Sure.
it's probably only about a 3-hour hike.
okay,
But that's a 3-hour hike most people can't do.
yeah,
And most people there didn't.
yeah.
So they
Real
were
rough terrain.
very rough terrain,
Yeah.
very steep, treacherous. I remember times I was walking in those trails and you take a step and the trail would just slip away down into the ravine because landslides happen and
Wow.
it's so steep.
Wow.
Which is why people didn't go in. And then, of course, there's all sorts of diseases and things,
Yeah.
jungle diseases that people are trying to stay away from. Malaria is a big thing. I've had that many, many times. I don't think this knife will help you with that.
Probably not.
So one of the things that's really different, and I should talk about why the straight edge, other than digging, is important. But the handle is actually this way because of the way they use it. It slides in their hand, so I don't know if that's clear, but when you take a swing, I hope I don't take your hat off too, but they let it slide in their hand, kind of keep that pinky up. This finger here can sometimes grip. Frequently, I'm just using those 2 fingers right there.
I got you.
Telling my knife that I love it, I guess.
So yeah.
But it's going to slide in your hand, and what that ultimately does, it's fun to study these things because they don't know anything about ergonomics theoretically, right?
Right.
But in practice,
They just know what works.
you
for
know
them.
what works because you're spending so much time with this blade in your hand that
Yeah.
you're going to dial it in. And when you're swinging through again and again and again, you're going to be beating your arm up if you've got a solid grip on that.
Right.
If you loosen it up, you're letting the knife do the work, and that's exactly what they do.
Cool.
So that's why it's shaped that way.
Yeah, that is interesting.
This blade has a little bit of a rubberized grip to it.
Right.
And the reason for that is that most people are used to death gripping the blade, right? And so it's kind of a segue teaching tool. You can do this. You can get death grip it. And if you've got something on your hands, or it's wet, raining, whatnot, you might want to hang on a little bit tighter.
Right.
And if you've got one of these old wooden blades or wooden handles, gets wet, gets a little tacky.
Yeah.
And you got a little bit of that tack right there.
Cool.
So it's a nice training tool.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't throw it. Lanyard's not a bad idea. Just don't let it swing around and hit you because
Right.
that's worse. The tip here, this is a workhorse. When you're cutting through jungle, you want as much real estate as you can get. If you've got a big old tree and there's a vine you're trying to get out, if you got a curved edge on that thing, it's all wasted. You're just going to slide right off of it every single time.
Right.
They bring that edge straight out to the end, and you can come right up to this is what I do in my farm. If I'm up against a block wall and there's a vine I want to cut, just cut it right there.
Yeah.
And you're not hitting it. Of course, you got to have some accuracy. But
Right. Takes practice for sure.
yeah, exactly. But that's why they do that. And if you're cutting grasses and things like that, that curved edge is going to fall right off.
Right.
It just doesn't cut as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's purpose behind things, and it makes it cool if you dig a little deeper sometimes. If you just make yourself dig a little deeper, ask questions. Well, why is that? There's typically a reason why, and it's not just as simple as, well, they just didn't want to do nothing. They just put a flat blade on it all the way to the tip.
It's easy for us to do things because it looks cool, because we
Exactly.
got machines. But when you're in the jungle, you do it the way you need it to be.
Right.
For me, the reason why I started Palawan Blade in the first place was I had one of these knives from the jungle. I used it on my farm in Virginia.
Yeah.
And eventually it broke
Yeah.
because it's a jungle knife. And so I looked online, like, let me buy one of these style blades because I love the style. I know its utility. I know how it works and what it needs to be. Nobody's selling it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, we are kind of globalized, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my brother and I started the company specifically to introduce this style.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
appreciate the opportunity to
Yeah, man.
share it with more people.
Yeah, we're glad we've been able to, get together on this and introduce this through Battlebox. So that's
Absolutely.
really cool. And then where's that other? That's the other one, right? The trail.
That's the trail blade.
trail blade. So
Yep.
So yeah. So y'all check them out. If you like this and you want to get the high dollar one, he's got those as well. So very, very cool. I'm going to enjoy using it. I got some brush I need to clear up at the house.
That's the tool.
I got goats, and there's just some stuff they're not getting, so.
That's the tool. Next best thing to a goat, right there.
All right, dude. So that's your Pro Plus knife of the month. Very cool. I dig it. Awesome job, man.
Thank you.
So that's Mission 72 of Battlbox, folks. Really cool box this month with a lot of really cool gear and a very special blade right there, if I say so myself. Quick recap. The Revolt Raptor neck knife here with the cordage that has fire strand in it and your toggle there. Really cool neck knife. The camping and backpacking knots cards right here, which is really cool. A lot of very useful knots in here. The oral rehydration salts. Great thing to add to water to help you in case you have issues with dehydration. And there's one in specific that really sucks, and it's called diarrhea. The med kits right here that we had a little issue in, but we've got the solution. So again, mixed bag of what you may get. There's no particular order of who's getting what or whatever. It could be any of these kits that you see here in front of me. But a great kit. Everything's compartmentalized so that it's easy to find what you need. It's easy to organize what you need. The Cali Loha, I think I got it on the first try, chair right here. Quick, easy, lightweight. You can take it with you no matter what you need it for or what you're doing. If you need to sit your butt down and relax and be comfortable doing it, this is the chair for you. Overbuilt, very, very lightweight, very strong, and very, very comfortable. Those are key things for this. And then last and certainly not least, we've got the Palawan company's Bakuku. Is that right? Did I say it right? He said I said it right. Good job. Lots of history behind it as we went over, which is really cool. I geek out on that kind of stuff, and I'm hoping a few of you guys do too as well. But really cool bush blade, if you will. It's just awesome. Lots of history, very durable, very strong, and at a price point that we definitely can add it here into Battlbox. And if you are interested in checking out their higher end steels that they have for these blades, please do so. They're great people, very knowledgeable in what they're doing, and they're bringing a very, very unique and very, very just steeped in history product right there, which I think is cool, which I think a lot of people are missing in the knife industry today. Just going to come up with a cool knife design. Well, here's one that stood the test of time, and people are actually surviving right now as I speak with a blade like that on the island. So that's Mission 72. I think it freaking rocks. Yeehaw. We're going to go outside and play around with this Palawan blade right here and we'll put some food in our bellies because we're hungry, and we can do that. And we don't have to use the blade to get it. You know, we can go get a cheeseburger or something. Yeah, feel good to you? Feels good to me. All right, so that's Mission 72. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. It's been a really fun video. And be sure to like, comment down below, share with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you know when I'm putting out another video. Yeehaw. And I'll see you next month with Mission 73.
Brandon's still on a mission to make an owl, I guess, or whatever's happening here. It's similar likeness.